When someone you trust shatters your world with lies, the pain is breathtaking. It's a special kind of hurt that makes you question everything you thought was real, not just about them, but about yourself. It's a quiet, lonely devastation that can make the future feel terrifying and uncertain. If you feel like you're lost in this storm of grief and betrayal, I want you to hear this first. You are not alone, and everything you are feeling is completely valid. Please keep in mind, the information in this video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical or psychological advice. If you are struggling, please consider reaching out to a qualified professional. In this video, we're going to walk through the first crucial steps to navigate this pain, understand it, and begin piecing your life back together. This isn't about a quick fix. It's about starting a real journey toward healing. The anatomy of betrayal pain, why it hurts so much. Before you can heal a wound, you have to understand it. The pain from betrayal isn't just sadness or anger. It's a type of trauma. Researchers actually have a name for it: betrayal trauma. It happens when the very person or institution you depend on for safety, support, or love violates your trust. The deeper the trust, the deeper the trauma. Think about it. A relationship is built on an unspoken agreement of trust. When lies shatter that contract, it's not just the agreement that breaks. Your very sense of reality fractures. You start asking those haunting questions. Was any of it real? Was this my fault? How could I have been so naive? This isn't just emotional pain, it's a psychological earthquake. In fact, studies show that a significant percentage of people who experience a deep betrayal from a partner develop symptoms of PTSD, depression, and anxiety. If these symptoms feel overwhelming, seeking support from a licensed therapist is a courageous first step. What you're feeling is also a profound kind of grief. You're mourning the loss of the relationship you believed you had, the person you thought you knew, and the future you saw together. Just like any other grieving process, it has stages, and giving yourself permission to move through them is the first real step toward healing. Step 1. Acknowledge the pain and let yourself grieve. So, our first and most important step is this. You must give yourself radical permission to feel everything. Society often rushes us through our pain. We hear things like, just get over it, or it's time to move on. But right now, real strength isn't about bottling it up. It's about bravely facing the depth of your hurt. You have to acknowledge what happened and just sit with the feelings. Anger, confusion, deep sadness, maybe even shame. They're all normal responses. Don't judge them, don't rush them, and don't let anyone tell you they're not valid. These feelings are messengers, telling you that a serious boundary was crossed. This is the grieving phase. You might go through denial, where it doesn't even feel real. You will likely feel intense anger, not just at them, but at the whole situation. You might find yourself bargaining, thinking, if only I had done something differently. And you will almost certainly face waves of deep sadness for what you've lost. Eventually, you'll reach acceptance, which doesn't mean you condone what happened, but you acknowledge the reality of it so you can start to move forward. Your only job in this first stage is to let this process happen. Talk to a trusted friend who can just listen without giving advice. Journaling is another amazing tool. Getting those swirling thoughts out of your head and onto paper can bring a little bit of clarity and release. A professional counselor can also provide a safe, non-judgmental space for this process. The goal isn't to live in the pain forever, but to honor it. You can't heal what you refuse to feel. Step 2. Reclaim your reality and challenge the lies. Once you've let yourself feel the initial storm of grief, the next step is to start reclaiming your mind. Betrayal infects our thoughts. It plants seeds of self-doubt and makes us believe stories that simply aren't true. This is where we can borrow a simple but powerful idea from therapeutic models like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, which is all about spotting and challenging the negative thought loops that keep us stuck. After being lied to, your mind might spiral with thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I'm unlovable, or I'll never be able to trust anyone again. These are not facts. They are painful stories born from trauma. The betrayer's actions are a reflection of their character, their choices, and their issues, not your worth. To start fighting back, grab a journal. When a negative thought about yourself pops up, write it down. For instance, "It's my fault they lied to me." Now challenge it. Ask yourself, what is the actual evidence for that? Is there a more compassionate and realistic way to look at this? A more balanced thought might be, their decision to lie was their own. I am not responsible for other people's choices. Working with a therapist trained in these techniques can be incredibly helpful in guiding this process. This isn't about pretending you're not hurt. It's about separating your identity from what happened to you. You are not the betrayal. You are the person who is surviving it. This step is about taking the power back from the lie and putting it back where it belongs, with the truth of who you are. The person who betrayed your trust is the one at fault. Period. If what I'm saying is hitting home for you, and you want to keep learning how to reclaim your strength and heal from tough experiences, take a second to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're building a community of people dedicated to turning their pain into power, and we'd love for you to join us. Step 3. Practice radical self-care and build boundaries. Healing from betrayal isn't just a mental game, it's physical. Trauma lives in the body. That's why Step 3 is all about radical self-care and rebuilding your sense of safety with strong boundaries. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's a survival tool right now. This means getting back to the absolute basics that tend to fall apart in a crisis. Are you eating decent meals, drinking water, moving your body, even if it's just for a short walk? Are you trying to get some sleep? These simple acts send a powerful message to your nervous system. I am safe, and I am worth taking care of. Grounding techniques are also a lifesaver. When you feel overwhelmed by painful thoughts, bring yourself back to this very moment. Focus on your breathing. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This simple exercise pulls you out of the mental storm and back into the physical safety of your own body. Now, let's talk boundaries. Boundaries are your new best friend. They are absolutely essential for protecting yourself from more pain and creating the space you need to heal. This might mean no contact with the person who hurt you. It could mean telling mutual friends you don't want to hear anything about that person. It means you get to decide what you will and will not allow in your life from now on. Setting these limits is a profound act of self-respect. It's you, declaring that your well-being matters most. Step 4. The path forward, acceptance versus forgiveness. As you move through this journey, you're going to come up against 2 big words, acceptance and forgiveness. It is so important to understand that they are not the same thing. Acceptance is for you. It's about looking at the situation without any sugarcoating or denial and saying, this happened, this is the truth. Acceptance doesn't mean you approve of it. It doesn't mean the pain vanishes. It just means you stop fighting reality. This is how you unchain yourself from the past. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is a far more personal and complicated choice, and it's often misunderstood. Forgiveness does not mean you have to reconcile with the person who hurt you. It does not excuse what they did. Forgiveness is almost entirely for you. It's the act of letting go of the heavy, toxic weight of resentment. Holding on to that bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. Forgiveness is choosing to put down that poison so that you can be free. Some studies suggest it can lead to lower blood pressure and reduced anxiety, but this is your journey. You don't have to rush it, and you don't ever have to forgive if you aren't ready or willing. The choice is 100% yours. Focus on whatever brings you peace, and remember that a therapist can help you navigate these complex feelings. Step 5, from pain to purpose, post-traumatic growth. I know it might seem impossible right now, but the final stage of this journey can lead to something pretty remarkable. Post-traumatic growth. This is a real concept in psychology that shows how people who work through intense struggle can actually experience positive growth afterward. This doesn't mean the trauma was a good thing. It wasn't. It means that in the process of healing, you can emerge stronger, more resilient, or better, more anti-fragile, and with a much deeper sense of who you are. Post-traumatic growth shows up in a few ways. You might develop a greater appreciation for life. You might find your relationships with trustworthy people become much deeper. You will absolutely discover an inner strength you never knew you had. And often, A crisis like this forces a shift in your priorities, making you realize what truly matters. The psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. The betrayal was not your choice, but your healing, your growth, and the meaning you make from it. That is where your power is now. You have the chance to rebuild your life on a new foundation, one that is more authentic, more resilient, and more aligned with who you truly are." Healing from the pain of lies and betrayal is a marathon, not a sprint. It's messy, it's not a straight line, and it's deeply personal. Just remember the steps. Let yourself grieve. Reclaim your reality by challenging the lies in your head. Practice intense self-care and set firm boundaries. Know the difference between acceptance and forgiveness. And finally, stay open to the possibility of post-traumatic growth. You have been through something terrible, but it does not have to be the chapter that defines your life. It can be the chapter where you discovered your own resilience, your own strength, and your own undeniable worth. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. You are doing the hard work of healing, and you will get through this. Again, if you are struggling deeply, please consider seeking the guidance of an accredited mental health professional. Thank you for being here with me today. If you have an experience you're comfortable sharing, or a piece of advice that helped you, please leave it in the comments. Your story could be the very thing someone else needs to read today. Don't forget to subscribe for more content on healing and personal growth. You are not alone.